Phil says he doesn't want any small contributions. He's not grateful for those. He only wants $100 tips or larger. So, wow, what an ungrateful, greedy piece of garbage. And,
Pirates of the Caribbean music start.
Welcome to the Level 1 podcast, where we're busy having fun down here on Level 1, and today is a ginormously huge new release day because, ladies and gentlemen, today is the release day of God of War Ragnarok.
Excuse me.
So, let's start on the YouTube side of things this morning. On the YouTube side of things, our first contribution was from Rich from ReviewTechUSA, who has this real habit of, even though I've made it abundantly clear that I want nothing to do with him, he still talks about me, he still slanders me, he still makes shit up about me on his streams, he talks out of his ass about me, and then he comes here this morning about 40 minutes ago when I was not even here sitting at the laptop, and he does a super chat. Truth is, I probably would have just banned him on site if I saw him, but he already scrolled off the screen many minutes ago. I don't have the ability to do that, but he doesn't get the message. He wants to make drama. He's not going to get it here. I don't give a shit about this guy.
Drama queens. He cheered again. He goes, "It was the head of the FTC that said in a press conference they're going to fine you $42,000. Stop it. Why are people such fucking drama queens?
All right. Lucifer Soul has become a channel member this morning. Thank you, Lucifer Soul, for the membership and the support. Ryan Wilson re-upped his membership in 4 months as you're one of the best streamers on YouTube, Phil. Jason Sipple re-upped his membership for a year and says, liking the new Phil, good luck with God of War. I don't know what you mean by the new Phil, unless you haven't been around for a very long time, and then you came back and you realized, wow, this is definitely feels very different today than he was 10 years ago. That I can understand. Thanks for the money, stupid fuck.
Click on it. Oh. Good. Now I'm away from that annoying fucking bitch of a kid who I would have slapped in real fucking life if they talked to me like that. I would have fucking pimp slapped that shit out of that. What the fuck? Anyway.
672 did a super chat, says, I'll tip $180 if you play and finish. Give me God of War mode. No. Actually, it's a funny story. When God of War 2018 came out, all right, I played it on the regular difficulty, okay? So did Kat. We decided at the time that we wanted to watch someone else play it as well. So we started watching someone else play it. They decided to do it on the harder difficulty. Like, they thought, oh, this is, I guess, prove that I'm good at games or whatever. It really made their playthrough worse. Like, no exaggeration. They hadn't played the game first at all. This was their first run through the game. And they were playing it, and it just significantly made the playthrough worse. Like, normal enemies that you're just supposed to coast through ended up becoming ridiculously difficult, tedious, and just over-the-top annoying. There were boss fights that in the main game playing on the regular difficulty were very fun, and for this person playing, they were nothing but a chore. Like, insane levels of annoyance. It got so bad, the person actually decided not to do the Valkyrie fights, because the Valkyrie fights were so hard on the tougher difficulty, they skipped them. Now look at my playthrough. Because I played on standard difficulty, I went out of my way. I did every Valkyrie fight, and they were very challenging at the end, but it was worth it. You see, I'm not going to be stupid and ruin my playthrough for the reason of saying, oh, look at me, I have a big EP-ness, and, I'm such a big, strong gamer.
Yeah, I'm a gamer!
Because I took on the harder difficulty. Listen, there's absolutely nothing wrong with playing the game on a harder difficulty, but I really feel like that's a second or third run goal. You want to experience the game at the default levels with the game developers intended you to play it at first. Then if you want to go back and do a second run and really challenge yourself and go for these alternate achievements and goals or whatever it may be, then you do that. I don't understand why anyone in their right mind would pick a high profile new release and say, I just want to play it on the harder difficulty first. Like, who are you proving anything to? Yourself? Do you really have such lacking of self-confidence in yourself that you feel you have to play it at a harder difficulty to start? Like, what's wrong with you? Where's your shortcomings in your head that you just can't enjoy a game at face value, but you have to, like, all of a sudden prove your mettle, right? That doesn't make any sense to me. It's really confusing that people have this weird mentality, okay? It is what it is. I'm playing it on the standard difficulty. We swap over to tips. Our first tip of the day is an $8 tip from Radical Jaws. They want me to ask the Magic 8-Ball a question. Let's ask the 8-Ball the question first, then we'll do the animation and everything. So, if I eat a Taco Bell meal, will I get liquid dynamite coming out of my behind? By the way, I love your content. Have a great day, Phil. So, he wants to know, Radical Jaws wants to know, if he eats Taco Bell, will he then be taking a very wet and slippery ride down the Hershey Highway? Let's find out.
Tumbler. Cool.
Ready? My sources say no. The sources say no. Apparently, you'll get lucky. Or maybe you have stronger guts than most of us. Usually Taco Bell, for them, at the very least, results in a lot of gas, in my opinion. Our second tip of the day
is a $5 tip that I received from Brock. He says, Fimble winter's upon us, boys. The winter to end all winters. I can feel it in my scroll. That was a terrible Brock impression, wasn't it?
I received a $1 tip from the great Piggly Wiggly, saying, what would Rich from ReviewTechUSA need to do for the two of you to make up? I feel like he's a silly but good guy. He can't do it. I've already explained this a lot of times, and by the way, I'm not going to take debate and talk about this all morning. Here's what I really don't like about Rich. He does whatever he can do for personal gain and doesn't care about the repercussions of anyone around him, all right? I used to be exactly like that. When I started as a content creator, I was the kind of person I would say and do whatever. As long as it got me content for the day and it got me views or whatever on YouTube, I didn't give a shit. There was entire rants I went on about games like Minecraft. I didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. I didn't care because it got me clickbait views, so who cares, right? You're still popular. That's Rich on a daily basis. Just the other day, I talked about it on the podcast. He misrepresented something that I said on the show. One morning, someone had been tipping less than $1, okay? And I explained to the audience, we've been down this road 5 years ago. When I first started becoming a full-time streamer, we had people who were trying to do very small microtransaction contributions in an attempt to troll the stream. They would put in 5 and 10 of these within a minute, and then they would expect me to constantly be shouting them out. These innocuous little messages that had nothing to do with anything. They were trying to get the pop-ups to constantly pop up. Then they started using troll names. So when you enable that behavior, all you're going to do is open up your stream to further trolling. And at that time, over 5 years ago, I talked directly with my live audience, and we came to a determination it should be $1. Whether it was bits back then, it was 100 bits. Whether it was a $1 tip, it should be $1. Should be the threshold. If someone contributes $1, you shout it out, you give them some attention, you say thanks. If not, then you don't bother with it because that's how you're going to control your stream. If you don't do that, you're just opening yourself up to constant trolling, harassment, and derailment, and you don't want that. People want a stream that has content, not just me talking to trolls all day, right? This is something we collectively agreed on over 5 years ago. No one's had an issue with it, okay? So it was a very rare thing that I get a tip that was lower than $1 regardless. I made it abundantly clear on my stream why we had this rule in place, and we moved on and no one had an issue. How does Rich cover it? Phil says he doesn't want any small contributions. He's not grateful for those. He only wants $100 tips or larger. So, wow, what an ungrateful, greedy piece of garbage. And this is what I mean. It's bullshit. It's blatant misrepresentation. This is what he does all the time. This is the kind of person he is. Why do he do it? Because he has no content. The man has no content. Look at what he does on his channel. He has no content. All he can do is talk about drama and news and nonsense around him because he has no meaningful content for anyone. So that's what he does all day. I don't like that. I don't support that. I want nothing to do with that. So is he going to change from being a guy who makes drama content and any day can make shit up at my expense to get views for his channel? No. Therefore, there's literally nothing Rich could ever do to become a better person and actually make me not dislike him. All right? I mean, maybe if he completely never mentioned me ever again, but even if that's the case, I still don't like the kind of content he puts out because it's harmful, it's derogatory, it's fucking stupid, it's for dunces, and, he could do better. He just doesn't want to. He has no desire to do anything better because all he cares about is this.
Anything for this, right?
Rather than what he's actually putting out there on the internet. So, I don't like the guy. I want nothing to do with him. Okay.
Think of it this way. Imagine if I ran a restaurant and a reporter walks into my restaurant and says, "Oh, would you be on my show or would you let me interview you for the show right now? Drop everything you're doing?" No. I'm in the middle of work. What the fuck are you doing? If you want to, write me an email, send me a letter, call me, let me a voicemail, do something officially to ask for something. Don't just fucking interrupt what I'm doing and say I'm gonna drop everything for you. What the fuck's your problem? But again, it takes common sense. A lot of people don't have that, especially the drama queens don't have common sense, so I'm not surprised.